all of the rest of the countries. Make that your dedication. Make it personally. Make it collectively as an organization. This incredible opportunity has been dropped in our lap. It's been given to us. We're going to take it to the marketplace, and we're going to take it to the marketplace with good hands, steady hands, growing hands, intelligent hands that can go touch people and get the job done. I'm asking you to commit to it. Herbalife is in good hands. A couple more enemies of the mind you got to do battle with in the summer. One is pessimism, that tries to get you only to see the negative side. Of course, there's the negative side. Life is part negative. What else is new? If the glass is half empty, it is half empty. You say, well, I've been only taught to see that it's half full. Well, sure, it's half full. But it's also half empty. I mean, can't you handle that? I mean, that's not too difficult. But here's what pessimism would try to get you to do. Believe that it's only half empty. And when pessimism comes to your mind, you've got to educate pessimism, because pessimism is stupid. Pessimism tries to get you to believe that it's only half empty. You got to say, pessimism, you've never been to school. Too dumb and stupid to know. Of course it's half empty, but it's not only half empty. It's also half full. I'm asking you to be in charge. Be in charge of your own mind. Be in charge of your own destiny. Do battle with your enemy in the summertime. In the summertime, you got to learn to love like a mother. Hate like a father. Give life like a mother. Nourish. Take life like a father. Father says to whatever threatens his family, take 2 or 3 more steps toward this family and threaten them, you'll cease to exist. I'm father. I kill. To battle with your enemies. Now, it's also possible to love like a father and hate like a mother. I'm not saying that isn't possible. Nothing more dangerous than an angry mother. I saw an article in a magazine a little bit ago up in Canada. Showed a man with some claw marks on his back, had his shirt off, big teeth marks in his neck. This man was out in the woods, had his flash camera, saw a mama bear with a little cub, thought, though, this is cute, took a flash picture. Mama bear takes unkindly to this flash picture. Promptly chases the man, catches him, almost kills him before somebody rescued him. So, beware, mama bear. Okay? Love like a father, hate like a mother, give life like a mother, take life like a father, however you want to arrange it, just so you nourish your values, nourish your family, nourish what's valuable for you, nourish your organization, nourish your distributors, nourish your customers, take care of your responsibilities, feed, nourish. But then I'm also asking you to do battle with your enemies. Take sword to your enemies. Whatever's going to destroy those values, take sword to it. If it's worry, take sword to it. If it's threat, threaten back. You got to be like your bloodstream. Good illustration. Red corpuscles to nourish, like a mother. White corpuscles to fight and kill, like a father. You got to do some negative thinking. Can't just think positive. Thank God for white corpuscles that think negative all day. White corpuscles say, just show me some infection, I'll kill it. Whatever threatens this body and its future gets threatened. Whatever's got to kill this body gets killed. I'm asking you, take sword to your enemies, whether they're on the outside or whether they're on the inside. Protect your family, protect your future, protect your values. Love, nourish, but also Do battle with whatever is out there to do battle with you. Take some courage from some of those that have been through the battle. They've given you their stories on this stage. They've been through it. They know what it's all about. Take some courage from that. And in the summer, do battle and nourish. Now here's the last one. In the harvest time, number 4. Take your harvest and all that comes your way with full responsibility. Don't complain. That 4th season, complaining, I'm telling you, could ruin all of your chances. Complaining sometimes starts as an infection. If you don't take care of it, it becomes a disease. You battle with it. In the harvest time, reap your harvest without complaint. It's your crop, you sowed it. You either made the calls or didn't make the calls. You wrote the letters, you didn't write the letters. You were steady or you weren't steady. You did it or you didn't do it. You put together a good day or you didn't put together a good day. Take responsibility when the harvest time finally comes and say, hey, it's my crop. Got to take responsibility for it. I do not complain. And then here's the next one. Do not apologize if you've done well. We offer...
Oh! Welcome to... catch myself. Welcome to the Sunday extended to Monday call, guys. We had technical difficulties yesterday. I wasn't able to lead the call yesterday due to flight being delayed, multiple hours, getting on the flight. Then they talk about, no, actually get off this flight. We're turning it around. You're not leaving from here. So it was just a bunch of malarkey. Don't even worry about that. So that's why. But shout out to Bridget for attempting to host the call yesterday, not because she couldn't, but due to Jorge being in the air, not being a really good connection. So you know what? We just decided to do it today because that's what we do. So welcome to the Monday night call, which sounds weird because we never say that. Jerry Cooper, active royalty member, been in the business about damn near 5 years now, or 5 years. I have to actually do the math or whatever. Super fired up about what's possible. I remember when I first started, I was excited about getting results. I was excited about helping people. I was excited about making money. And I realized that I could do it on my own time around my schedule. I didn't have to do anything extra. Only thing extra I had to do was give effort, right? But if you're going to succeed in life and to get farther in life, you're going to have to put effort into something. So with me being a college athlete, I knew I couldn't go to work because traveling, games, class, study hall, film, everything like that, practice, there was no time for me to get a full-time job. So me being 21, me needing extra money, me being an athlete already, it kind of only made sense for me to do Herbalife because I was already doing Herbalife without talking about it. Right. Being healthy, being active, or healthy as I thought, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't eating correctly, but I was physically active. I was lifting weights very, very minimally, but mostly basketball practice, running, things of that nature. Right. So when I got introduced to the products, and increased my performance, I increased my lean muscle by 4 pounds in my first month. I dropped my body fat percentage about 4%. And I was super excited about everything that was going on, right? So I took that opportunity, shared my results, went to my first event about 4 months after I was actually doing the business, and saw the vision about what was possible. So for me, right, when I first actually saw the full possibility with Herbalife, in my mind, I didn't even know about clubs, right? I didn't know about nutrition clubs. I didn't know about nutrition cafes. All I seen was people getting it through social media, people doing face-to-face, people creating massive businesses through a massive amount of a volunteer army, right? Not necessarily so much consumption from a lot of people, but more distributors helping more people. That's the way that I grew up in the business. And that's how I always will see it as doing it. But we have a new wave of business coming along. And actually, we're going to be one of the first organizations in the front of it, right? Because our president's team members, paired along with other president's team members in the Midwest, have come up with a solution to create stability and long-term longevity inside the Herbalife business, right? So that's what we're going to go talk about today. I'm super fired up, and we're basically going to get straight into it. Bridget, what up? Thomas, what up? Carlos was popping. Amanda, what's up? Andrew, brand new member. What up? What up? What up? Jorge was popping. Marcus was popping. Takesha was popping. Josefina was popping. And everybody that will get on the call in the future was popping, right? So I'm just going to get straight into the experience as far as Chicago without necessarily talking about the details about everything. I'm going to let everybody else talk about it. Well, I will talk about it, but, I'll let everybody else say their part about it. So went to Chicago on a business trip, mind you, traveling with Herbalife. That's super awesome. Never been to Chicago. Probably had no business in Chicago if I wasn't going for Herbalife, right? But one thing I will say, if you've never been to Chicago, don't go in the winter. There's no point, right? It's too damn cold. I ain't never been in no 12-degree weather like that. I'm from California. So if you're going to go to Chicago, don't go in the winter. But it just so happened we had to go because we had to learn this knowledge, right? So anyway, we was out there having a good time. Food is really good. We went over to Jared Graham's house, which is our presidency member, for those who don't know. He lives on the 27th floor of this high rise in the heart of downtown Chicago. Super dope. For those who's seen Power on TV, if you raise your hand if you watch Power, right? Only two of y'all. So basically, Marcus, okay, nice. So basically when we walk in, right, we have to basically give the doorman, the receptionist, the name of the person we want to visit, unless we can't get in, right? So that already tell you off the rip, this is higher level than other things, right? So we have to give him the name, and then he sends us to the elevator. We don't even get to, pick the floor like we normally do. He's going to send us to the floor that he's on, right? So that's super cool. We walk up, or we get on the elevator, walk up, we get into Jerry's house or whatever, right? He's super excited to see us. You know what I'm saying? We get into his house, and it's like a little loft. Is it even a loft? What? How would I describe that? Jorge, how would you describe that? His house. It wasn't like a loft. Would y'all say it was a loft? It was clean because you just walk in and just go straight, and you basically walk to the back, and it got the whole view of downtown Chicago in the back of his apartment. Penthouse. Yeah, penthouse, a situation. Whole view of downtown Chicago. Hit the left is his room and everything like that. Hit another left is connected to the bathroom. That it's basically one big square. Not crazy big, but big enough for a single guy and his dog, right? Super dope. Has like a full-blown basketball court in the bottom, full-blown gym, full-blown wall ball court, patio with multiple barbecues. He has a game room a couple floors down where people can have parties at. That was super big. So basically, it was a real taste of what President's team looks like. And not even at the highest scale, but that's just what President's team looks like, right? So that was super dope, being able to see that and just being in his house, just talking to him, having a good time, rapping with him, everything like that. So that was amazing. And then also the city and everything like that. But we're not talking about that. That was awesome. That wasn't the point why we went, though. We was going to learn about how to open up nutrition clubs, nutrition cafes, and things of that nature. So does Jorge, do you want to go? Or Takesha, do you want to go and explain? Or do you want me to just go ahead? Just go ahead. Or Takesha, you're going to talk about STS, right? Yeah, definitely. So Takesha's going to talk about the Chicago STS that she attended while she was there.
Can y'all see me? We good? Okay. So I went to the Chicago STS. Mind you, it was a different type of vibe. I've been to Southern Cals and Northern Cals, and the vibe was definitely different. A lot of people spoke at the STS, but I just want to go over two individuals that did speak. Morgan Martin spoke, and she currently has, she actually has an optimized club, and an optimized club, she has Club B, which is a nutrition club and a fitness club. And she just basically talked about the phases of the nutritional club. So I'll go into that very quickly. And then the second person that was there. Michael Hillard, who is a MIL team 7.5, 7.5 MIL team. He's getting ready to go into Prez team. So he talked, and there's some points I want to share with you guys regarding that. So basically, if anybody's interested in getting a nutritional club, she talked about phase 1 and 2 of the nutrition club. And she talked about how marketing is really important, and marketing is broken up into 5 points, which is in order to open up your nutritional club, you have to go through the social media, your face-to-face invites, your business-to-business, attending local events, and networking through your circles. So in order for you to be able to open up your club, you have to be able to go through those steps first. She also talked about phase 2 of opening up a nutritional club. So phase 2 are those individuals who actually have the club and they're getting ready to open. So phase 2 is basically when you have your club, you're creating an experience for those that come in. You keep things new and exciting. One thing she says she does the shake specials, which, mind you, between the lab, her clubs are called the lab. Between the lab and Rise Up, I think I like hers better, the lab, because I like how they put the cups. The cups was kind of funky. Like, I don't know if you guys ever been to like those little Asian juice places where they have the cups with the big straws and you poke it through the hole. That's how their cups were made. So it was kind of funky, and it actually, I don't know, I just like the vibe in there. They also make tea bombs. I like that. When they're in there, they make sure they're providing value to their products and value to their customer. Exposures, they make sure they expose their company as well as themselves. So when they're there, if people ask, they create wellness profiles. They also talk about the products, and if need be, once they develop a relationship with their customers, they talk about business opportunities. One thing she says when she's in there, she's always asking herself, how am I creating an extreme experience for the customer? So she always asks herself that question. So that's what she actually went into. And then Michael Hillard, not Prez team, but he's almost Prez team. He came up and he talked. And basically he talked about his journey into becoming Prez team and what really solidified him, or not Prez team, his journey into becoming 7.5 MIL team, currently about to go into Prez team. What solidified that was him opening up his nutrition club for the second time. The first time he opened it, it bombed. And it was so bad that he actually had to live in his nutrition club, him and his best friend, and they end up closing it because basically the square foot he leased was way too big, and his override, he couldn't afford it. He talked about when he had that moment where he couldn't take it anymore was when he had his daughter, or I don't know if he had a son or a daughter. I just saw a picture of the baby. He didn't say, he said his baby. So when he had his baby, that's when him and his wife made that decision. Okay, we're going to open up a nutritional club. And he was the third within his organization to open up the club. So basically, he didn't want to reinvent the wheel. And they tell you don't reinvent the wheel when you're opening up a nutritional club. So basically, he just, he followed what everybody else did when they opened up the nutritional club. Basically, he went over the same information that Morgan kind of went over, but the only thing I want to share with you guys, he posted this quote that was 2 quotes. He said, basically, you don't have forever. And when he said that quote, he made an example. He said, okay, you're 20 years old and you want to do things for your parents, but you keep pulling it off. Okay, I'll start the business tomorrow. Tomorrow comes. Okay, I'll start the business tomorrow. Before you know it, you're 30. Then you keep saying, I'll start the business tomorrow. And then you're 35. And he said, you don't have forever. He said, you tell yourself you want to do this for your mom or for your father. He said, but if you keep starting the business tomorrow, you'll never be able to do that. So he said, make that conscious decision to start that business today. So when your parents do call you, you can, and they need your help, you can help them. And he also had another quote, and then I'll give it back to Jerry. He said, "You're exactly where you're at based off who you currently are and the choices you made." So because we're in this position now, I truly believe that our eyes are opening up, and this is one of the our group that we have now. Our group is growing, and so many things are happening with us, and we're on this wave, and I think that we're doing good. So just focus. So that's it.
Great share, definitely. I like that. You definitely don't have forever. And I heard that quote too by Style Bell. I remember that was actually at one of his workouts, TGIM. And that was actually the theme of his workout that day, which was "You don't have forever." Basically saying, like, essentially what you're saying. You keep putting off everything, keep saying that you have tomorrow because you're being lazy or whatever the case may be today. But it's like, no, you don't have forever. Like, if you don't get it cracking now, you might not ever get it cracking. You know what I'm saying? For multiple reasons, whether it be outside forces, the demons that you may be facing, whether you be procrastinating your own legacy, whatever the case may be, start it today, right? So that's like for anything that you may be going through today, for all you distributors out there right now that's watching this, and for everybody that watches in the future, if you haven't wrote your 100-person list down, or if you haven't reached out to all of your circle of influence and you're like, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow, like, just do it today. Like, there's nothing stopping you from being great today. Like, that's what that's the thing that I always say. I was talking to Marcus about that. Well, actually, I wasn't talking to Marcus about it. I was yelling it at him the last time we was working out. But I was like, yo, be great today. Right? Don't even worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about next week. Don't worry about your 90-day plan. Today, be great. And then watch what will happen tomorrow, right? Just be great today and follow that up every single day. But that's definitely great. So also Amanda went with us, but unfortunately her notes are with me. So so I'll be speaking for her side or whatever. But Jorge, do you want to go? And yeah, okay. So basically, how does it go now is that we'll actually get into the depth of nutrition clubs. So basically, whatever Jorge doesn't say, I will say, and then I'll probably just still follow it up anyway. So just go ahead, Jorge.
Guys, what's up? So as Jerry was saying, this whole weekend was legit about nutrition clubs. One thing, especially for Andrew and things new. It's for everybody, to be honest, but this is a whole new level. It's a whole new wave. There's gonna be a lot of Herbalife distributors that are not exposed to everything we're being exposed to, and that's something we could take advantage. Not to be better than them, but for us to just maximize the resources that we do have, thankfully. But Nutrition Club is just a whole new wave. Like, for all of us that are currently using social media, doing face-to-face or whatever we're doing, we're talking to people individually, as opposed to when you create this nutrition club, you get it running, you're hustling to open it, people are coming to you. I mean, you still got to do the dirty. You still got to go look for people. You still got to do the social media. You still got to do the face-to-face and everything. But it's just a whole nother level where now people are coming to us, and it's, just by that, you already know how much your business can grow. But I wanted to go over I started going over it yesterday while we were on the call, but y'all know what happened. But new solves all. New Michael Hilliard, he said new solves all. So basically what he meant by that is that we need to create new things into our business. It could be anything from a new sale, whether it's big or small. It could be a new conversation with somebody you haven't spoken to, but the conversation pops up. It could be a new client. It could be anything that's new into your business. It's going to solve all your problems, whether your business is stuck in one position, whether your cell phone bill, your car payment's coming up and you need to make some money. Create something new. Something new will be what solves everything. He also said this. I've heard it before, but He said, some will, some won't. So what? Someone else is waiting. So therefore, like, out of all the people we talk to, it's like cool for the people that do. Great, we got new clients, or great, we got new business partner. For the people that don't, oh well, they just lost on the opportunity. So what? The next person is most likely going to be the one that's waiting, ready to go. And then, like Takesha went over it when he had to sleep and basically live in his nutrition club. He said there's two ways to create change into your business, and one is by making that personal choice, and the second one is you're going to go through a traumatic experience, and that's going to be like, oh my God, I just went through this, I got to get my together. So he said you got those are going to be the two ways you make a change in your business. So he was suggesting you might as well make that personal choice as of right now and not even go through that traumatic experience. Don't put yourself through it. You already know the possibilities. Make that personal choice today. And then last thing, he said, same thing. Takesha was going over the 4 phases. He said, maximize your phase. So it doesn't matter. Hey, it doesn't matter if you're in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, whatever phase we're in, we have to be able to maximize that phase, because why are we going to be focused on maximizing phase 2 and phase 3 when we're still in phase 1? So just whatever phase, and that it doesn't have to be about the nutrition club, but in our business, just maximize wherever we're at in the moment. And Jerry just kind of said a bit of it. What he was telling Marcus to be great today. So same thing, just maximize today and let tomorrow, the following day, the next week, the next month be what it's going to be. But let's maximize where we're at the moment. And that's it.
I like that. Don't let a traumatic experience happen to you. Just make the decision first, right? That was my philosophy, right? Without even consciously knowing that, I always said to myself, I don't want something monumentally negative to happen to me for me to get serious about changing my life. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, like, if like you just said, I already knew the possibilities. Like, how many people, listen, how many of you guys sponsor somebody that was like, yo, I can't wait to go to President's Team with you. It's going to be amazing. We're going to make $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, da-da-da-da. And then they just quit on you a month later. Or not on you, but they just quit, right? A month later or whatever the case may be. Me, maybe you guys haven't had that experience so much because you guys haven't sponsored that many people yet, being you're so young in the business. But for me, right, doing it 4 or 5 years, trust me, I've run into a gang of people that was like, yo, we're going to go to the top together. We're going to go to the top 1%. And they leave, right? And the thing about me is I always say to myself, regardless if you stay or leave, I'm going no matter what. But you should stay so we can go together, right? Because there's going to be one day where you're going to see me and I'm going to make that post. Whatever's going to say about becoming a President's Team member, you know what President's Team means. We was in it together for a period of time. You know what it means. And you know what? This could have been you with me, but it's all right. I'm not mad at you. Just know that champions will stay, right? That's the motto. If you stay, you'll become a champion no matter what. No matter if it takes 2 years, no matter if it takes 5, 7 years, it's going to be just as sweet no matter what. So, yeah. So, all right. So now we're going to get into the nitty gritty of the nutrition club, right? So if you are interested in opening a club, a space, a cafe, a fitness studio, right? These are the notes that you want to take. Yes, these are the notes that you want to take. So this is what I gathered from it. And this is basically the staples before that you're looking for as you want to open a club, right? So you as your sole individual, right? You as a distributor, to be able to really get going and open a club and not be in the club by yourself, because nobody wants to work the club by yourself. I know Mira and Jay's club, Rise Up, their hours are from 7 a.m. to 3, right? That's just starting off, but they probably said they're going to work 7 to 7 as their club gets more optimized, which is basically, I'll talk about that. But basically, you don't want to be in there working 7 to 7, right? Nobody signed up in Herbalife. None of you guys signed up. So you could be making shakes behind a bar for 12 hours a day, 4 to 5 days a week. Who signed up for that? Raise your hand if that's what you signed up for. Not a damn soul, right? We didn't sign up for that. We definitely signed up to be able to help the community. We definitely signed up to be able to travel the world and make extra money and change our lives and everything like that. But the goal was never, oh yeah, I'm going to sign up for Herbalife so I can quit my job to work in this club to sit here for 12 hours to make shakes, right? That's not what it was. So the point of it that I'm saying is, when you start to want to open up a club, you don't want to be by yourself, right? So what the word is that you want to have 4 frontline supervisors with you as you want to open a club, ideally, right? So there doesn't necessarily have to be 4, in my opinion. It doesn't have to be 4 frontline supervisors. I would just say 4 people. Have 4 people with you, frontline though, preferably, definitely. So for those, so I forget Andrew's on the call. He's brand new. Andrew, so for frontlining means that you sponsored this person, right? So Tango sponsored you, right? So you're his frontline. So when you sponsor somebody, that's not Tango's frontline. That's your frontline. You see what I'm saying? So you want to be able to sponsor 4 different individual people, their own lines, and be able to take them with you into the club. So whenever you hear frontline, that means you sponsor one person and then another person and another person, right? So you'll hear that term all the time, frontline the world. Definitely, that's the motto, right? So frontline. So you want to take 4 frontline into a club. And as you're looking for a space, you guys want to know, and this is so huge, and I'm so glad Mira said this, right? Because this is something I didn't even realize, is that your target market. What is your target market, and who are the people you're trying to get to come into the club, right? So for example, myself, if I was opening up a club, say it was me, Jorge, and Thomas, right? Our target market more than likely might not be middle-aged women, middle-aged, women. That might not be our target market just because of who we are in the space that we're in, right? So that might not be able to case. So you guys got to realize what your target market is. Jay and Maris, their target market was college kids to about 35-year-olds, right? So college kids is damn near 18 to 19, whatever, right? 18 and 19 to 35. In that range of people, all kinds of people though, you know what I'm saying? That's the target market, and they're in a nice little area where a lot of people will walk by. So have 4 frontline supervisors or 4 frontline period with you as you want to open a club, and know your target market of the people that you're trying to target as you go to the community wherever you go to, right? So as you're looking for a space, right, you want to look for a space that's about 900 square feet. Nothing too big, nothing. I know that we had that call with Jerry like a month ago or 2 months ago or whatever the case may be. I think he said something like 1,500, something like that, 1,500 square feet. I don't know if you guys remember, but he said that on the call. And in my mind, I'm like, damn, that's hella big. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, 800 to 900, no more than 1,000, right? So basically less than 1,000, but no less than 800, because the space that you want to have is not necessarily. It's not like a gym, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like you're going to be having like 50 people in there at once. You want to be able to hold maybe about like 20, 25 people at one time. But so that's the space that you want to have, 800 to 1,000 square feet, period. And then as you're looking for the club, the space that you want to look for, he was talking about tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, right? So tier 1 areas is basically like Starbucks, Nike, what are some other tier 1 stores? Like Verizon, Sprint, things like that, right? Big name companies, and like the little plaza or whatever that you might be looking at that's not the place that you want to go to, right? Actually, Starbucks, this is what Jerry was saying, Starbucks actually has a clause with other businesses that's saying any kind of like other drink place, you can't be in a radius or something like that. I don't know. So basically, not that. So that's tier 1. Tier 2 is something like Anytime Fitness, all those yoga places, the Pilates places, Chipotle, things like that, right? Those are tier 2, and that's where he said that's ideally the place that you want to look at. So not so crazy big, but semi-big, mid-major, I would say. Places like that, that's a really good place that he likes to look at. And then tier 3, which is like the family-owned restaurants, the family-owned stores, the non-name brand places, right? The places that you probably see in your town only, or the little mom and pop shops, right? He said stay away from tier 4. Tier 4 is like bail bonds, Cricket Mobile, Boost Mobile, what else? Just the ghetto shit. You know what I'm saying? Stay away from the ghetto shit. Essentially, that's what he's saying. If he, a good rule of thumb is if you wouldn't want your, check cash in places. If you wouldn't want your girlfriend or your kid walking around that area by themselves, that's not a place you want to open up a club, right? So stay away from tier 4. Tier 2 to tier 3 is essentially the place that you want to go to. And as you're looking for the places, you want to be able to look for places with the least amount of build out possible, right? So you don't want to go to a place, you want to go to a place with plumbing already. You don't want to go to a place where you got to like do hella stuff to the walls or clean or like fix a hole in the floor, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. You just want to be able to aesthetically put things up. You don't want to have to really build nothing, you know what I'm saying? And a place with plumbing is always good, where the only thing that you have to do is extend the pipes, you know what I'm saying? Where you can put your sink, the bathroom, the bar, whatever, right? So you don't want to go into a place that's just like an empty room, you know what I'm saying? Because then you might have to build a bar, you might have to, build other certain things, and that's no bueno, right? That's not what we want to do. Hey, Halika, what up? So as least build out as possible. And between you and your 4 distributors, right, you and your 4 frontline, you want to be able to basically have around at the max 15K between you guys. Now, mind you, 15K between 5 people, 3K each to play around with. Obviously, with that, meaning that you're heavily doing the business, right? For you to have 3K set aside along with you, unless you just have money already, of course. But most of us, we're going to be doing the business to create the income to put into the club, right? So therefore, in turn, you guys have to have the mindset of high retail, high recruitment, high royalties, so you can be able to put that money away so we can invest into the club, right? So about 15K between 5 people, right? Or whatever the case may be. And now, when I say 4 people, it might be 5, it might be 6 that you come with, you know what I'm saying? It might be a little less. It just depends. But generally, it wants to be around 4 people that you're bringing with you, right? And then again, you want to realize your budget and target market when you're opening these places. So that's super key to have. And the rent, you guys got to realize that, okay, yeah, rent is going to be in different places, right? And this goes also with having the club optimized. But basically, you don't want to have a stupid high rent, like crazy $3,500, $4,000 rent. But you definitely want, like us being in the Bay Area, the rent's going to be a little bit higher. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. But due to the amount of people that we plan on having coming through the door, just the people coming through the door will be able to cover the rent, not including the extra stuff that they may get, not including the extra business that we're doing outside of the club, right? So your rent will be conducive to how many people that you'll bring in every day. I believe he said that if your rent was, don't quote me on this, but I believe he said if your rent was about $1,700, then you would have to do 15 shakes a day or 15 consumptions a day. And that's not hard, right? If you have 15 consumptions a day, I mean, that's really nothing. And if you do that every day for 30 days, then you'll be able to break even on your 1,700 rent, something like that. Now, mind you, don't quote me on that. I don't know the exact numbers, but that is basically it's something around that, right? Okay, cool. So now that you are looking for the space, you have your people, right? And you sign the lease or whatever the case may be for whatever, right? And obviously we can talk about those details as it comes closer or whatever. You want to make sure that your club appeals to the 5 senses, right? When you walk in. So you want to make sure when you walk in, it looks really well. It smells really well. How many of y'all walk into a place and it didn't smell good and you like, what the hell, right? I know sometimes I might go to somebody's house and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It's stinking here. Mind you, I ain't gonna say that, but you know what I'm saying. You want it to be able to smell good. So you want the eyesight You want it to appeal to your eyes. You want it to smell good. You want it to have good music, right? You don't want to be playing like I said, and this goes with your target market, right? Michael Hillier, he was just speaking about this. He was saying like, he has one of his distributors, he's a cowboy, right? Like basically he's saying he's a cowboy type guy, right? But the cowboy type guy wanted to go into a not so cowboy area. Basically he wanted to go to a predominantly black area and be a cowboy and open up a club in that area playing country music, right? That's not conducive to the area that you're in. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. You want to know your target market and you want to have your club appeal to the five senses. So basically, you want to have good music that's going to be good for your target market in your area. So what is that? Appeal to the eyes, smell good, good music. Obviously, you want the products to taste good. And obviously, we have all the recipes or whatever. We don't have to create none of that good stuff. Like, obviously, you can create stuff if you want to, but most of the recipes, all that good stuff is already created. And what's the other five senses? Somebody help me out. Eyesight, hearing, taste, smell. What am I missing something? Touch, right? Shout out to you guys, right? Touch. You want to have good vibes in there. You want people to feel good when they walk in, right? Not necessarily physical touch, but the feeling that you get when you come in. When people say hi, goodbye, they know your name and everything like that. Like you feel different when you come into the space rather than when you came in before. Or you leave different than rather than when you came in before. So appeals to the five senses. And essentially, there's four types of people that you want to bring into the club with you. So what he was saying is you want to have the bubbly person, which is the person, greeting people, making shakes and everything like that. The person that makes people feel really well, the person that's genuinely bubbly, right? You want to have that person. You want to have the person that does the numbers in the back office. So the person that does the books, really good, that's smart with numbers and everything like that. You want to have the design person. So the person that knows like aesthetically how things should look, knows how to place things and everything like that. That person. And then you also want to have the visionary, so the leader, right? More than likely you, that has the vision of creating that. You know what I'm saying? The person that's getting everybody together, the person that's kind of strategizing things, right? So those are kind of the four people that you want to be able to bring into the club with you. And yeah, so Herbalife. Tim Hendricks, he's like a 20K senior executive president team member. He makes buku dollars. I remember I was talking to him. He was telling me like he's like one of his highest checks was like $80,000, and I'm like 80,000, like one check, 80,000, right? And he was telling me, and this he was telling me this, and Jerry tells me this all the time. There's nothing special about him, right? He's a Marine. He's like 50-something years old. He's not in the best of shape, of course, but his mindset and his mind is out of control, right? And he has this vision about everything that he wants to create. So like I always tell you guys, it's not about being the most ripped person. Me and Jorge was just talking about this the other day, or yesterday, right? It's not about being the most ripped. It's not about having the best abs. It's not about being the buffest. You know what I'm saying? Because if that was the case, all the people that are crazy into fitness would be president's team. If that was the case, it's not about necessarily that. Now, don't get me wrong. Your results matter. I'm not undermining your results. Please, disclaimer, your results are important. You can't be out here looking like shit, right? I'm just saying that your results aren't the overall everything as you go to president's team, right? Now, they're definitely a huge part, but that's not the only thing. There's the mindset, there's the work ethic, there's the business mind, there's having the people with you, and so on and so forth, right? So basically, he was saying that this is an international wave that we're coming into, and to have a 3 to 5 year commitment between now and obviously 3 to 5 years, right? Have a 3 to 5 year commitment. He started, so a little background about him. His first club was a 300 square foot club inside of a mall next to like Taco Bell, McDonald's, and everything like that. And he would basically have people like to do a wellness profile. He would basically take people out of the club next to the pizza, next to the Taco Bell, and do the wellness profile there, then bring them back in so they can have a shake, right? And it's just crazy to think about what that has turned into today. So within that, and within 12 years, he has 8 frontline clubs, right? So basically, a frontline club is like I sponsor Amanda, I sponsor Bridget, I sponsor Jorge, I sponsor Takesha, right? So that's already 4, right? They each have their own club. So essentially, that's my frontline club. You see what I'm trying to say? He has 8 frontline clubs, 73 clubs within his first 3 levels, right? In his first 2 levels, he has 73. And he has 180 total clubs within his total business from frontline all the way down to however many lines he has. That's hella clubs. So essentially, that's how you create an $80,000 check because, when you get a bonus, right, that your royalties run, you get paid on your first 3 levels on your royalties, right? So, okay, teaching point. Andrew, so as you create an organization, right, and for everybody that's not clear on this, Thomas as well, I don't know if you know about this or whatever, right? Josefina, I don't know if you know about this or whatever, but this is a teaching point. So there's me. This is a perfect example, right? So there's me. There's Amanda, front line. There's Angelica, second line. And then there's Tango, third line, right? So there's 3 people under me. You get paid on your first 3 levels off your royalties, right? However wide it goes, 3 levels deep, right? So you get paid on your first 3 levels on royalties, but your bonus check gets however wide, however deep it goes. So if you have 100 lines of people, you get a bonus on all of your 100 lines of people. You see what I'm saying? So Tim Hendricks has 180 clubs within his whole business. So an average club will produce about 16,000 volume points a month. The average club, right? This is just serving shakes every day that's fully optimized. So optimized is, okay, I keep saying I'm saying this. Optimized means 100 people coming into your club a day, right? So the average club with nothing special, with no lifted teas, with no special products or nothing like that. They just come in and get they shake and they regular tea, right? The average club will do 15,000 volume points. Average, right? If you have 180 clubs doing 15,000 volume points and you get a 6% bonus on that, I'm going to let y'all do the math on that because I don't know. It's just something super crazy high. So that's how he was telling me, I got like an $80,000 check. Like, that's stupid, right? So that's the case. So the 4 phases of you having a club, right? So now this is, okay, so all right, this is super key, right? Let's take it back. Let's take it back. You have your club, you have your space, everything, you're starting to build, or everything is built out, right? $2.5 million. Wow. Yeah, $2.5 million. In how much time? What is that? In a year? $2.5 million in a year. Just off the bonus.
If I did it right, I did it for the month.
Wow. I don't know if you did it. I don't know if you necessarily did it right, but
I'll do it right now. So it's 15,000.
No, 15,000. All right, listen. We'll talk about this later. Not that. I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. Boom. So you're in your club, right? You got your 4 people, or however many people you got. You got the space. You signed a lease. You're building everything out. You painted the walls, or whatever the case may be. Mind you, we're not doing old school Herbalife painting the walls green and none of that good stuff. We're making it look like, okay, before I get into that, your cafe can obviously look however you want it to look, right? There is no I'm sure there's rules about it, but it's not like you have to make it a certain way. But the way that we're doing it is we're not blasting Herbalife, right? We're not blasting the products like overboard, right? We're making it look like a real ass cafe. You know what I'm saying? Making it really look very nice. When you walk in, you're like, yo, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like really nice pictures on the wall, aesthetically pleasing, whatever on the wall, right? Chairs, whatever the case may be. So you have all that, right? You have your club. The 4 phases of this goes into first, your pre-launch, right? So the pre-launch is basically like a setup before your actual grand opening, right? To just let your people know, yo, I'm in a community. Actually, before the pre-launch, right? Let me actually say before the pre-launch. You have to do 30,000 invites 30,000 face-to-face invites and 100 in-services. So basically an invite is not nothing crazy, right? An invite is you taking the card, your business card of the club, you know what I'm saying, and handing it out to 30,000 people. Now, mind you, not 30,000, but 30,000 between you and the people that's going to be in the club, right? So 5 people, if you guys have 5 people, y'all all do 5,000 invites, right? Or 3,000 invites each. So what does that look like? Now, obviously, it's not going to be in one day, but over the 30 days before your pre-launch, you want to be able to hand out 30,000 invites total, right? So you'll have your business card. It's not expensive at all to get business cards on Vistaprint or whatever the case may be. Print those out, and you want to make the cards look aesthetically pleasing. One, that's the first thing. You make sure your cards look really well, because it makes people like, how many times somebody didn't hand you a card and you just threw it away? You know what I'm saying? But if the card looks, decent, if it looks cool, if it's not the, necessarily cheap ass material, if it's laminated or something, you might be like, yo, like, this is cool. Like, let me see what it says. And then if you got something cool on the back, like Mira and Jay, they have a Tupac quote on the back of their card. For me, if I seen that, I would be like, yo, like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? So whatever your target market is, that's what I'm saying. Know your target market and have your club and everything reflect off of that. So 30,000 invites 30 days before your pre-launch, and 100 in-services. So in-services, you basically going to the businesses around the area where you want to open a club and basically serving free samples and leaving your card. So basically having like lifted teas. So when I say lifted teas, basically lift off with the teas, or protein coffees, right? Serving them up, making a few, right? Not too many, like maybe like 5 or whatever, and say, hey, we're a new smoothie shop in the area. We're opening up on this day. We really wanted to have you come support us on our pre-launch. Boom, this is the day. Here's the products, and here's the card, right? 100 of those between you and your 5 people, and 30,000 invites between you and your 5 people 30 days before your pre-launch. So the pre-launch is basically the setup for your grand opening, right? So what you'll have there is basically, you're just inviting people to come down, come try the shakes, come try whatever the hell they want to try, and to build the hype, right? Because you were already building the hype with the invites. You were already building the hype with the in-services. So now with the pre-launch, it's the physical hype, the physical results before the actual, like, yo, we're about to get it cracking in like a week or whatever the case may be. So the pre-launch is super key, because now it allows people to come see you before you're actually all the way open. So now they can tell their people and their friends about coming back for the grand opening, right? Now, obviously, your club appeals to the 5 senses. You got good vibes. You got the bubbly person in there greeting people. The shakes taste great. It feels amazing when you walk in. It smells good. You got the candles going. You got the air fresheners popping, right? It's a dope place for you to come to. So, of course, they're going to bring back their friends. Of course, they're going to tell their family about it. Of course, they're going to tell Instagram about it, right? And that was the thing too. They were saying that make it Instagrammable. Like, if people come in there and if they see everything, they want to take a picture next to everything and post it. So make it social media-able, if that's not a word, but if you guys get what I'm trying to say, social media-able, whatever, right? Boom. So the pre-launch is the first one. Optimization is the second one. So optimization, it basically takes about 90 days for you to get into full optimization. So optimization is 100 consumptions a day, right? So them coming into the club, from the time that you open, from the time that you close, minimally 100 people come in and get their shake and tea a day, right? Every single day. That is optimization. And so that's the second phase that you want to get to, optimization. And then the third thing is optimization plus duplication. So being able to teach the people that you're with everything that you know, right? So that you can go into phase 4, which is fully duplicating and opening up a new club, right? So obviously, as you're doing the deal, as your club is optimized, right? You're still doing the business outside. Like, disclaimer. Just because you have a club doesn't mean you're on social media. It doesn't mean you're not doing face-to-face. It doesn't mean anything. Everything that we're doing now, you completely still do with a club, right? When you talk to people about wellness profiles or everything like that for the people in your community. I know for me, right, I'll be like, yo, come to my house. Come have a shake in my house, right? And we can talk about everything. But now with the club, you can be like, yo, come meet me at my club. Come meet me at my cafe. Come meet me at my gym. You know what I'm saying? So one, it gives you a better look. It makes you look more official. And two, it just gives out the vibe like, yo, this is serious. Like, this is something bigger than just bro trapping out of his crib, trying to create something. Now, don't get me wrong, ain't nothing doing that. Ain't nothing wrong with doing that, because that's what I've been doing. But I'm just saying it looks better when you can say, yo, come to my facility, right? So duplication, obviously, you still frontlining more people. You bring in more people into the club. And as the club starts to get packed with bartenders or baristas, whatever the hell you want to call them, right? You take the seasoned people that are already been in the club and you go open a new club. Or you don't take them and they just decide to go on their own. And because they went through the process with you, they start to do their own thing, right? So duplication, right? And so with duplication, you want to make everything super simple. It's not rocket science. It's not super hard. It's just being able to actually go out and do the work. With the marketplace, you want to be able to build your brand, right? So for example, the brand is not Herbalife, right? So for your cafe, like, yes, we serving Herbalife out of the cafe. That's the product and everything like that. But you want to build the brand of whatever the club is. So for example, Mira and Jay's club, their club is called Rise Up. So they're building a brand around Rise Up Nutrition rather than building a brand around Herbalife. You see what I'm saying? Because people, people will go on Google and they'll type in whatever about Herbalife and whatever will pop up. You know what I'm saying? It'll be some weird stuff, right? But when they type in Rise Up Nutrition, all they're going to be able to see is what people write about reviews. You see what I'm saying? Or whatever people say about the club in general. So you want to build a brand around the club, whatever the name may be. And also with going into optimization, you want to build relationships. Like I was saying hello and goodbye to people, knowing their name. I was just talking to, I don't know if I actually said this to anybody during the weekend, but it was funny because as they were saying this about, remember people's name, hi and bye, hello and goodbyes could matter, whatever, right? We was walking into the hotel, and I remember I was coming into the hotel from getting hot water downstairs. And one of the dudes in the front, he was all like, "Oh, good morning, sir. I hope you have a great day." And in my mind, because I was conscious of it, I was like, you know what? If I would have just, now mind you, if I would have walked by, he didn't say nothing, it wouldn't have been a big deal. I wouldn't even thought about it. But because he went out of his way to say, "Yo, I hope you have a good day," and everything like that, I'm like, yo, that is actually crazy about what it actually does for somebody when you go and do that. So when people come into the club, your space, you want them to be able to come back all the time because it feels good to be there. So saying hello, goodbye, remembering their name, building relationships is super key because you want the person to come back with 5 of their friends, right? And don't judge people as well with everything as well. Just don't judge people. And then as your club, just think about places that you would want to go to, right? So think about the places that you shop at. Think about the places that make you feel good when you go there. And that's kind of the energy that you want to replicate when people walk into your club. So be the customer. Like, imagine you being the customer. What would you want? What would you want from a club if you were coming in daily, right? If you were spending $10, $12 twice a day at a facility, think about how you would want it to be. Think about the energy that you would want to be around. Think about the people and how you would want them to treat you, right? Think about the music you might want to hear. Think about the things you might want to see. Because that's going to be the thing. You want people to come in and stay and for them to bring their friends and come hang out. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously when they do that, they're getting shakes, they're getting teas, they're getting bars, they're getting everything, which essentially is the point of the process. Because yes, we're opening up a club to serve the nutrition or to serve the community. But at the end of the day, this is a business. We're not just doing it just out of the complete good of our hearts. Like, we're trying to make money. You know what I'm saying? We want to be able to change our lives. We want to be able to do the things that we want to do, right? And just know that the club isn't the overall, how do I want to say, like, it's not like, okay, we open a club and that's it. Like, no, like, we want to be able to open multiple clubs. We want to be able to give this club away to our downline and us go start new clubs and to create more business and to help more people in more communities and things like that. So what I will say to you guys in different areas, that's pretty much it as far as that. But now, obviously, when it comes into the nitty gritty, like, well, that was pretty much nitty gritty. But when it comes to certain things, like what type of things to buy or how to negotiate with a realtor or whatever the case may be, we do have Jerry available for that to be able to give his insight and, you know, to be able to do things like that. But I would say for the most part, go on loopnet.com or download the app called LoopNet, and just look for the criteria that you want to look for. You know, no bigger than 1,000, no less than 800. Look for retail/restaurants, and look for areas that are cool. Like I'm saying, not tier 1, but tier 2 or tier 3. And just start brainstorming. Go over there, talk to the people, you know what I'm saying? But while that part is going on, remember that you still need to be doing the business, obviously. You still need to be frontlining people because you don't want to go in there, like I'm saying, by yourself. You want to go in there with multiple people, because it's going to make everything easier. It's going to make it way more fun, and it's going to only make more sense. So with that, is there any questions for me? Takesha, go ahead.
Question, but just to piggyback off of what you're saying, every 2 weeks there's a mastery class call every Monday of every 2 weeks. So it was one today at 4, and that call is basically goes into detail about how to open a club, the square footage, any addendums to your contract, and so if you're interested in that, you may want to reach out to Jerry, and he could probably give you the link, or actually ask Jerry, reach out to Jerry. Jerry can reach out to Jerry to add you to the chat. And also, maybe next call, we could probably talk about the satellite, because Mark and myself reached out to D. I don't know if you guys remember D at Level Up, where Ashley basically moved up within the company real fast using the satellite. Another option for folks who don't want to open up a club, you could start out with a satellite first.
Definitely. And I will also, so I know I didn't talk about too much about the fitness model version of it. But so everything that I just talked about right now was Model A. Model A is just the cafe. Model B is the fitness side, and AB is obviously a mix of the both. We're going to have a guest speaker on Sunday who is more into Model B, and he will be able to explain everything that he does for his club for those people that are into fitness very, very heavily, right? That still make it profitable just as much as option A. So that will be on Sunday. So be on the call on Sunday for that. And that's pretty much the information I've had. Is there any more questions? Does anything have, or is there anything that anybody's thinking about or whatever? Or is my internet tripping or what?
I think this is the first call I've seen you guys. But anybody in general, if anybody has questions, everybody here is pretty on board with a lot of things. Oh, he's back.
Right. Yeah. So, y'all know how my internet be. It'd be tripping towards the end of the calls. But if there's any, does anybody have any more questions besides Takesha's question at one time? No? Okay, cool. So, and no more questions. I'm just going to stop the recording.